Hello everybody. I know it's been a long time I haven't made a video out there. I've been doing so much reorganizing up here, completely. I clean up a lot of stuff. I remove a lot of stuff from the old life. I completely maked over the whole apartment. This whole place was completely completely empty out, and whatever was not resonated was out in the garbage. Because the way the things are right now, you have to move into the new. You can't hold on to the old into it. I had to reset up everything here. I moved some couches. I moved a lot of stuff onto it, including on the whole this stage. I had to unplug cables, units, and everything to move stuff around. Today I'm gonna be making the video that it's very overdue. That is the video about my trip in Bilbao, Spain. Okay, what happened is that I went to honor myself there in Bilbao. I made a study for the negative blood type, and the most negative blood type. It's there in the Basque County, the Basque country there. I had a very good time. Went to a country that I barely speak the language, but I practice my Spanish. They say that my Spanish has been very good for a tourist because I can ask the questions and I can understand. I have some conversations in Spanish, which is they were impressed of it, which is my Spanish is improved. Maybe someday I will make some video in Spanish. We'll see how that's gonna turn out. Um, so um, the first day I arrived there, and my hotel room was not even ready. They told me, "Excuse me, sir, you arrived at 10 o'clock. Your room will be ready at 2:30." I just not might as well. Here's a map. Go around the town. So I took the map and I went to downtown Bilbao. And what happened there is that here's what I found. They had their traditional once a year festival in Bilbao. This is a festival about keeping up the old culture, the dances, the traditional dances for the Basques. Um, and they had blocked the downtown, the street, the main street there, and there was performance stages from each town. There was a dancers presenting each town for it, and when you look at the street, it's like a long street. The dances there are all the same, but the people there from the different towns, and it was great to experience this part. That festival, I asked for it. They told me that that festival it's once a year and it's in different towns. But this year it's gotta be that day in Bilbao. So that was a very good synchronicity for me. I recorded a lot of videos. I posted some pictures out on the Facebook. If you want to see them, you can go ahead and look at it. If you are follow me on Facebook, you will know what's that all about. But what impressed me the most when I arrived in Bilbao was the energy. The spiritual energy there was clean. Something was pure down there. I didn't feel pressure. I felt home. I didn't feel like intensity. The energy that was here compared to there. I felt home. Something was completely different. Didn't know what it was. Didn't understand what it was. But I even still don't know fully what actually happened there. But it helped me out to understand everything. So um, I had a very good time. The traditional part of the Basques, the dances. I went. They're very nice, friendly people. They're just like I told them, hey, can I make some pictures with you guys, in Spanish, and they're like, oh, yeah, sure, not a problem. They right away. For them, there was something very proud because you respecting their culture, you respecting them. And it was an amazing how you see this part right there. That's what it is. Um, the very good part that I liked out of the Bilbao, that was the food. I'm missing that food. I really liked dry meat in general. We also in Bulgaria have a dry meat, but seeing this right here, they cut it out for you, making a sandwiches. I had to walk 15 minutes from my hotel to go to specifically this bistro. That was the bistro that I really make that as mine, that I belong to. I was going. I had my coffee. I had my freshly squeezed lemon orange juice, and I had my sandwiches there of it. And then I'll go and do what I have to do during the day. But the food there, the food is just incredible. Just no words. I mean, you gotta go there and you have to experience it on your own. Um, yeah, that was me. I actually have one, but it's red. I didn't wear it right now, but I went to go and shopping in the stores, and I asked them, everybody, what's happening and what I can get. I was looking for a jacket for my oldest daughter, but since she's short, they don't have the size for it, and I keep on asking for it and asking for it. And the next day, pretty much the half of the Bilbao knew that Dio is looking for a black jacket for his daughter. And they asked me, "Oh, you asked yesterday for that jacket. Sorry, we don't have it." So that was a very good, funny part of me. That's me that I've been doing my study of it. Of course, there is a spiritual shops there. Walked to that spiritual shop. I talked to the owner. There was a person who came in. There was a lady who was just sitting there, and she was meditating into the shop. There was another lady who just walked in. She saw me. She's like, "Oh God, what is this light?" And she turns around and she's like, "This is too much loose. Loose. It's the word for light." And she waited there for me to go out so she can walk in. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was a great shop, great experience there. What I actually was in Bilbao is that you can see that the one side of the old town, it's called Viejo Casco, or Casco Viejo was one of the, anyway, which is the old town. You can see that the town has its own light workers, but it also has its dark alleys into it. You can see how everything just coexists in there, and the people, there is no separations of good and bad, and that's why I begin to understand the good and bad really actually doesn't exist. They coexist within each other. Simply the bad will push you where you need to be so it can be good, and good is there so you can understand it. But don't create the good part as a cushion or as a comfort zone, because the bad comes in to push it. Is like, hey, go look at this. You have to evolve. You have to understand out of that part. But I like the shops there. There was a very good things. Um, Very good things. And um, then I went to the museum. This is a very beautiful museum that I went into. Um, Very beautiful dog, actually made it out of flowers. Depends on when you go to Bilbao, the dog actually has a different flowers. They're booming and blooming, and it's beautiful. Just the way you can see it, it's just incredible. The whole energy, the whole town, it's incredible. And I was amazed how everything was so clean there. I mean it clean. Even though the old street and the old town, they were kind of like a clean. But what amazed me is that they have the electric trolleys goes around into the town. But as you see, they put the grass into it. They are very focused in the town of to keep it green, to keep it more modern. There is a very nice combination of modern architecture with the very old style of traditions into. So it's an amazing how they're small. It's a 300,000 people town. It's got so much, to offer into. What does that got to do with me, though? I was keeping looking into it. I went out. I treat myself with a very expensive restaurant. I went out to eat what it's called bacalao, which is a codfish that it's salted, so it can be preserved when it's ready to eat. They cut the piece, they take it because that is a very dry from the salt. They take it and they soak it in the water. The salt goes away, but what happens is the meat pretty much conserve itself to the original state, and then they take it and they cooked it and they just give it to you. It's incredible how this tradition is kept. You need to understand that back then, and the thousands of years ago, there was no refrigerator. They had to use a salt to salted the meat to make it dry so they can eat it, to can preserve it for a long time. And the same thing was with the fish. The salted fish, they understood how to preserve it for a very long time. And that tradition even to be till today. So here, how does it look like? Now, about this color. If you knew that I began 2 months prior, I began to convert what's called the green project, which is that's why everything around here, it's kind of like a green. So also you can look at it up here, all these colors. So I was looking, why did I was there? So I began to walk around the town, and when I begin walking around the town, here's what I'm seeing. More green. More green. More green. Green. A little bit more green. So Fashion Magazine came out same month. It's the same color. And now, you walk into the store, to their mall. I mean, an escalator. Who will put that color in an escalator so you can hold yourself into it, right? So I was asking myself, what is that about to do with the color? The color was the synchronization that what I was doing here is that it's matching the energy there, that I'm on the right road for my spiritual journey, that it was the right place, that I begin 2 months prior to that. I went to that trip for myself. I didn't want to see someone. I didn't want to meet someone or be with someone. And I was very disappointed to my ex-wife because she made a statement that I went to see my 20-year-old girlfriend, which is I forgive her about it. People do mistakes all the time for it. But that color, it's something particular with it. It's the color of the Atlantis. It's the color of that Caribbean blue, turquoise. Kind of a colors that brings internal peace into the person who is surrounded with. So that part was very well into it, but I was still searching for an answers. I was still looking for some answers about is there is a people who are there like me? Is there is a people who are like me? There was a lot of people who I actually resonated with it. But everything is so busy there. Everything it seems like you have this part of people just walking and walking and walking within their own busy life. And it's hard to go ahead and look at it as something that happened thousands of years ago into that territories to seek what I was looking for. It came into me later on within the dreams that what actually happens there, it's to preserve. It's to preserve the past, but to preserve the past of as a learning experience of how it needs to be. I was looking for a people like me though, and went out about the cheese. I saw that video over at the YouTube, and a lot of the people said that at work that was my sister, and I was laughing at him. I was like, no, she's not my sister. But my journey there at Bilbao helped me to understand me. And you need to take a trips where your soul leads you. You need to go ahead and go to a country that you've never been before. You need to go ahead and cross the boundaries of what it needs to be. At the end of my trip there in Bilbao, at my last day, I simply asked what I'm doing here. And they told me, this is your place. This is your place where one day you want to desire to retire. This should be the place. You should retire there. It resonates exactly with you. And that's why you're here. That's what you feel home. That's what you feel at peace. So I got this part on the last night that I was there. And I was happy. I got the things that I wanted. I did the things that I needed. I find some peace, even though there was situations prior to that it wasn't really a vacation. But anyway, the overall of the trip of Bilbao brings a lot of more information inside of me during this so-called exile period. And over the time, I will make some videos about it. That the exile, it does a lot of things for you. It brings you on the next stage of really, really soul evolution. Your soul evolution begins when you cut ties with everyone. But that is a whole another story of evolution that I need to say. So in the next morning, I was going into the airport. I get up early. I went to the airport. So what happens in the airport? Of course, I went Twin Flame. Guess what? I went out and there was a lady that's sitting right there. And everything inside of me, go ask her, sit down next to her, so you can wait for the plane. So I went there. I went and we started talking, and we begin, just an average conversation that turns out to lead, of course, to Twin Flames. See, I told her, hey, I'm a basically, I'm a Twin Flame guide. I help a lot of people. She's just laughing at me. I was like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, I'm going to United States to meet my Twin Flame. How was like that about a picture? So we had a great time with her during the flight, and we talk about the Twin Flames during the whole flight from Madrid to Chicago. I help her out to understand. She has a lot of questions. I told her that the best thing to do is to bring the peace within the connection. Because without the peace inside, you can't understand what do you do as a Twin Flame. The peace that you need to bring in is to give a peace to yourself, but also to give to your Twin Flame. She took that advice. She took the help that I gave her over the flight. We actually went out and managed to put our seats together. So we changed our seats. And it was a very good experience of finishing that journey to Bilbao, to go back to the reality of the twin flames, of what it needs to be done, how it needs to be doing it, but the synchronizations of everything that happened during that trip, the green colors, the conversations that I had with the people that I went to. Actually, I went to a store which his name was Buenos Aires. I went to the cafeteria. The person who was there, he was from Argentina. There was a lot of Latinos in Bilbao. A lot of people from South America, they were there. And I asked them, why you here? And there, well, here it's much better than South America. So to finish it, this video, it's I want to leave you with one thing. Don't just sit on yourself in a comfort zone. Go do something out of the ordinary. Go be extraordinary. Go listen your soul. Go do what you have to do in this lifetime for your own self, for your own revolution. You have to revolve against yourself in order you to evolve. You can't just sitting on the one spot there and expecting the miracles to happen. You have to create the miracle inside the view of it. So the more we speak into it, the energy between two different sets of a twin flame, it's still a very high energy level. And a lot of the people, they don't understand us. They will not understand. You know, in order they don't understand us, they have to become part of what we are. We are awakened souls. We cannot just simply be something normal, simply because the society is created on that. The doctors, they don't take the soul as a factor. The psychologist doesn't take the soul as a factor. Basically, the whole thing is abandoning the soul. But the soul, it's the right thing. You to listen, you to follow. Because the only thing you have to be is you to be loved. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be loved.